The Oregon Health Authority and the Oregon Department of Environmental Quality have been collaborating over recent months to ensure public safety around concerns in Southeast and North Portland with glass manufacturing emissions. This morning, we received data regarding lead levels that were above the 24-hour screening threshold, which we have not seen since we first discovered presence of other heavy metals. And we decided to take immediate action, as we have consistently said we would, if we saw these levels get above the immediate safety level and standard. These actions led to our two agencies submitting a letter to the governor today based on this air data to ask her to take action and to direct the agencies accordingly. This evening we're going to have Leah cover, first of all, the DEQ's actions. We have our toxicology team and our scientist team here as well to discuss the data that we discovered today, and our partners at Multnomah County, Jay Douglas, the Environmental Health Director, will talk about the actions that Multnomah County is taking. So let's begin this evening by specifically addressing the monitors and the data and the implications of that data for our actions and our recommendations to the governor.
Thank you, Lynn. My name is Leah Felden. I'm with the Department of Environmental Quality, and I'm the Special Advisor to Director Pete Shepard for the Cleaner Air Oregon program initiated by Governor Brown last month. Director Shepard regrets that he's traveling and is unable to be here to address you himself. Like the Oregon Health Authority, DEQ is also very concerned with today's news of the May 9th monitoring results. As Director Saxton mentioned, today the governor issued a directive to DEQ requiring that DEQ issue a cease and desist order to stop the pollution source causing endangerment to health. DEQ issued that order today to cease and desist using metal hazardous air pollutants in any uncontrolled furnace. This means that Bullseye Glass may not use hazardous metals in any furnace that is not controlled by a baghouse that is functional and operating according to design specifications. The specific metals that must only be used in a controlled furnace are arsenic, cadmium, all forms of chromium, cobalt, lead, manganese, and selenium. This cease and desist order is effective for 10 days and may be renewed by directive of the governor. Over the next several days, DEQ and OHA will continue to evaluate monitoring data and determine next needed steps. I will now turn it over to Brian Bowling from DEQ and David Farrer with the Oregon Health Authority to discuss the data.
Evening, I'm Brian Bowling. I'm the Laboratory Program Manager for the State of Oregon Department of Environmental Quality. This morning, the DEQ Laboratory released data that showed that lead was nearly 3 times the Oregon 24-hour screening level at the Portland daycare location. Currently, DEQ has 4 monitors around Bullseye that operate 24/7, collecting data to look at the air quality in the area. The Oregon 24-hour screening level for lead is 150 nanograms per cubic meter of air, but a sample from May 9th was measured at 416 nanograms per meter cubed. The health-based target ambient benchmark concentration for lead is also 150 nanograms per meter cubed. Associated meteorological data, including wind direction and speed, showed that the wind was coming out of the north-northwest and directed over Bullseye and to the daycare. DEQ also reviewed batch tickets from Bullseye that showed during this time they were using elevated levels of lead in their glass. Therefore, DEQ concluded that Bullseye glass is the source of this unsafe concentration. And turn it over to David Fair to talk about lead?
I'm David Fair. I'm a toxicologist with the Oregon Health Authority. At the Oregon Health Authority, we care about the health of all Oregonians, and especially children. And that's why this finding of lead is particularly concerning to us, because lead is a potent neurotoxin that can really affect the development of the brains of young children. And the proximity of Bullseye to this daycare center, and the monitor was located at this daycare center, made us concerned that for the health of the children in that daycare center. The levels measured, the main health effect that is associated with these kinds of levels of lead exposure in air are decreased IQ in children that are exposed long term, especially in utero, and young children as well. Now, because in this case we're talking about these elevated levels of lead, but I also want to point out that this finding is part of a pattern of unpredictable emissions of metals from this facility. And so in addition to just this particular lead finding, we're also concerned about that overall pattern of these emission events that keep coming. And so that's why the cease and desist order applies to the rest of the other metals that weren't actually detected at dangerous levels here. So to prevent something like this from happening in the future with some of those other metals. The other metals at high enough concentrations can cause a series of other potentially serious health effects depending on the level of exposure, including kidney damage, lung and respiratory irritation, asthma, neurological deficits, and various other types of cancers. In the case of lead, fortunately, in the case of lead, there is a well-established medical test to determine whether or not someone has been exposed to dangerous levels of lead. And Multnomah County, in fact, has a lead screening program, and they're here to talk about that as well.
Good evening. I'm Dr. Jay Douglas. I'm the Environmental Health Director for Multnomah County, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about what we're going to be doing from here. As Dr. Ferris said, lead exposure is a significant danger to children, especially children under the age of 6. I and our Tri-County Health Officer and our lead team was out at the daycare center this afternoon. We spoke with staff there, and we were able to provide them with some information to help them communicate to the parents of the daycare. We wanted to let them know that we're available to offer lead screening on site there, but we will be holding a lead screening clinic tomorrow at the Southeast Health Center at 33rd and Powell from 2 to 6 p.m. The fortunate thing about the lead screening program is that it allows for an immediate result of a screening to let us know if there's presence of lead in the blood. We'll also let people know that they can go to their primary care provider as well. We will also be offering lead screening clinic throughout the week next week as well, and we'll be having that information posted to the multco.org website. That's it for me.
Thank you.
I think it's important to underscore that this work today, which began today, continues every day in the interest of preserving and protecting public safety. So we will be keeping you apprised, and we will be in constant communication with our partners, and both at Multnomah County and with DEQ. So I think with that, we're happy to answer any questions you have, and would ask that you direct those to the particular folks, but I think that's what we have for you this evening. We'll be in touch.
Question for DEQ. Can you speak at all to the legal authority of the agency to, I guess, enact this order or to prosecute this order from the government, being as how the company has a valid permit with the state?
Yes, so the order that DEQ issued today is one that must come via a directive by the governor. The statute provides the governor the authority to issue this directive to DEQ. So the Oregon Health Authority and the Department of Environmental Quality issued a memo to the governor's office explaining the situation. The governor in turn issued the directive. DEQ in turn issued that order.
And we'd be happy to provide you with a copy of that letter this evening, our letter to Governor Brown.
Did you say that the reading was from March 9th?
May.
I'm sorry, May 9th. What, 10 days ago, just explain the process if we can in terms of why we didn't learn about this 3 or 5 days ago.
So the metal analysis that we are undertaking right now is one where staff have to go out, collect filters, take them back to our laboratory, analyze those filters, and it's a longer process on that. And so we've been running data weekly, releasing this, and keeping up with releasing this data as quickly as we possibly can on those weekly releases that we've been doing. In this case, this data was ran last night, and this morning our chemist informed me about 7 o'clock this morning of the results, and we immediately started our mechanics to let that known to our partners and take action on it.
So then with the 10 days that they're not going to be allowed to use these metals, then from 10 days from now, we're going to get another reading, which will presumably be taken tomorrow?
No, so we have data that's running tonight for data from the 10th and on. So it's one of those continuous processes that we continue to collect samples and process those samples.
What is the precedent for something like this in way of, I know that there's 10 days and then the governor, if she wants, can reissue 10 days. Is there more times than not, does a 10-day lead to another 10 and another 10, or what have you seen, at least within the history of Oregon in 10 days?
This sort of order where the governor directs DEQ to issue an order is relatively, I'll say, at least to my knowledge, unprecedented. So we've not been through this process before.
Okay.
Can you speak at all to the level of progress that Bullseye has made in obtaining air scrubbers or these emissions control devices that the governor called for previously?
Yes, they have made some progress. They have one bag house, which is an emission control device, one bag house that is on one of their furnaces that's running currently and operational. And they've submitted another notice of intent to construct to DEQ. This is the customary and required notice that is submitted to the agency before they actually begin construction of another bag house. And I understand that there are plans for more, to control more furnaces. They have several furnaces.
Now, does that mean that they can use these metals on that one furnace that has the proper equipment, the bag house and that sort of thing?
They will be able to use the metals in a controlled furnace, yes.
I'd like
The-
to clarify, however, that the bag house that, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Introduce yourself,
Yes.
please.
sorry. My name is Keith Johnson. I work with Oregon DEQ, and I'm working more specifically with the facility. I just want to clarify that Bullseye has obtained a bag house, but it is currently not online. They experienced what they thought were some issues with it and took it offline. So they have one. They're planning to reinstall it, and they also have plans for more capacity with an additional bag house.
So-
Was this in production at the time of this test result? Do you know?
The bag house? The bag house was not in use.
And to be clear, the order requires that if they're going to use these metals, they can only do it through a controlled furnace. So that bag house or another one will have to be operating and functioning properly again before they can run metals.
Does the Plantsburg continued production, even though this bag house was down, violate any sort of agreement with the DEQ?
No, it does not.
Okay, any other questions? All right, we have copies of the memo that the agency sent to the governor this afternoon. Okay, thank you.